Before we get started, I want to send my congratulations to someone who's one of the best at his craft. Greg Schulte, who's been the Diamondbacks radio play-by-play broadcaster since their inception in 1998, is retiring after this season. Can't say I'm surprised considering he cut his workload significantly last year and he was diagnosed with cancer, unfortunately. It's still sad to see an icon hang it up. But Greg, wish you the best. You've earned it. I hope this year's a memorable one for you. All right, everyone, welcome back to Dugout Talks roster breakdowns for the 2023 season. We finished the American League yesterday, so be sure to go to our YouTube channel to watch those division breakdowns. Today, we're starting with the National League East, and again, I will give my thoughts on the strengths and weaknesses going into spring, and then I will share my division predictions. With that said, let's just hop right on in. We'll start with the division champion Atlanta Braves, who won 101 games last year and won the division based on head-to-head victories over the Mets. The Braves looked like a legitimate threat to win back-to-back World Series, but they got stunned by the freaking Phillies of all teams in 4 games in the NLDS. It was quite astonishing how quickly this team collapsed when they were heavy favorites. I mean, it was just unreal. Even I thought that they were going to win it all. Looking at the lineup, the team did lose Dansby Swanson in free agency, but they did add Sean Murphy from the A's to give them depth behind the plate. Otherwise, this lineup is the same as last year, and it's dangerous once again, assuming everyone performs to the same level. Uh, I don't even really know how Brian Snitker is going to arrange this lineup because no matter how he puts it, it's going to be dangerous. Just simple as that. Rotation wise, it's basically the same as last year. I think the rotation is kind of weak, though. I don't know if Kyle Wright's going to replicate his 21 win year from last year. That's a hard thing to ask for, especially for a guy who never done anything like that. I can also kind of see Spencer Strider having a bit of a rough sophomore campaign. And Charlie Morton, he's going to be 40 years old this year. I don't even know if he's going to be in the rotation come middle of the season, but we'll see. I just don't really know. I mean, the rotation can be good, but I could see it being its weakest link. As for the bullpen, it's a good pen. The only thing I worry about is if the starting pitching isn't very good, the bullpen's going to be used a lot. It's not going to be as effective as the year goes on. Looking at it, I mean, Raisel Iglesias in the closer's role, Joe Jimenez, AJ Minter, they're going to be setup guys. They're pretty set. I'm not worried about the pen. In summary, if the Braves are going to win their sixth straight division title this year, the rotation has to be good. No doubts about the lineup. They'll absolutely hold their own, but the team won't survive on an average rotation. Up next, we have the New York Mets, who also won 101 games last season, but finished second in the division. I fully expected the Mets last year to be good. I didn't expect 101 wins out of them, especially because they didn't have DeGrom or Scherzer for the full season. And again, 101 wins is nothing to laugh at, but losing in the wild card series, that was typical Mets. I mean, they absolutely wasted away last season with that wild card loss. Lineup wise, they're still solid. It's the same lineup as last year. Only difference is Omar Narvaez is behind the plate. They have good farm depth. They have Francisco Alvarez, who's expected to make an impact on the offensive side this year. Potentially, a lot of the guys that are going to be coming up at some point this year, they could be getting the majority of that bats as the year goes on. So that's going to be exciting. I still think the Braves lineup is better, but the Mets can definitely hold their own, and these two teams will be duking it out for most of the year. Rotation wise, on paper, yes, it's fantastic, but I do not expect Justin Verlander to pitch like he did last year. For a guy coming off Tommy John surgery, his last year was it was a freak show, just unheard of. And to be honest with you, I kind of expect him to tire out this year. Kodai Senga, he's going to be intriguing to watch. How will he do this year? Don't really know yet, but he's a solid three in that rotation. Uh, Outside of Verlander of Scherzer, though, really it's average. I mean, Jose Quintana and Carlos Carrasco can be good, but again, it's kind of hard to say. I just don't really know how I feel about the rotation. Bullpen wise, it's a good pen. Edwin Diaz is brilliant last year. Um, if needed, the team can easily slot David Robertson or Adam Ottavino into the closer's role too, assuming that, well, not assuming, but if Diaz doesn't do very well, there's always that possibility. But other than that, it's just a kind of an average bullpen. I don't really see anything flashy about it. In summary, I'm not as sold on the Mets this year as I was last year. I originally had them being pretty bad, I won't lie. but I think I was even being too hard on them. So I'm giving them, middle of the pack. I think they'll be in the division race. I just don't think they're going to win 100 games this year. That was just absurd. Up next, we have the National League champion Philadelphia Phillies, who defied the odds as the sixth seed in the first year of the new playoff format. They upset the Cardinals, Braves, and Padres on their way to their first World Series since 2009, losing in 6 games to the Astros. The Phillies under Rob Thompson, they're incredible, and if it means anything, Thompson being at the helm once again this year, pretty clear the Phillies are going to play for him. Lineup wise, they are without Bryce Harper at least for the first half of the season, but I think this lineup can perform without him. They did lose him for a portion of the summer last year, and they still found themselves in the playoffs, so they can do it. They're more than capable. I will say though, they need Nick Castellanos to replicate his 2021 season with the Reds, and they also need Alec Bohm to put all the tools together. Basically, just if the offense is going to perform at an elite level. Uh, but again, even without Bryce Harper, this is still one of the better lineups in baseball. Pitching wise, I absolutely love this rotation. It's easily best in the division to me. Four capable starters who could be aces in some teams' rotations outside of here. They have good competition for the fifth spot going too. Some think Andrew Painter could be their five on OD or on opening day. But I'm going with Bailey Falter just because Painter's 19 and there's no need to rush him. Let Falter have the spot. If Painter's destroying the minors, come May, June, bring him up. Bullpen wise, I'd argue it's better than the Mets because of the depth, and it's probably right up there with the Braves as well. The good news is if the rotation consistently puts up 6 innings, which I think they absolutely can, the pen should be fresh down the stretch, and these guys fresh is dangerous. I'm so sorry, I keep stuttering right now. Summary: the defending NL champs can easily win this division. They're hungry, they're great. When they're all clicking, this is one of the unstoppable teams. The future is bright as well. I really expect them to just be doing great things all year long. Up next, we have the Miami Marlins, who finished 69 and 93 last season. They have a new manager in Skip Schumacher, and I think the Marlins are in a prime spoiler position going into 2023. They acquired Luis Arraez from the Twins, Gene Segura in free agency, and quite frankly, this lineup is pretty balanced. That is not like elite by any means, but a balanced lineup can be just as good as an elite lineup on any given night. The lineup will score runs, and if Jazz Chisholm is healthy this year, the lineup will easily compete in this division. Basically, don't write this team off yet. They definitely have potential to be good. Pitching wise, this can be the best in the division. Sandy Alcantara won the Cy Young last year, and they added Johnny Cueto, who had a nice resurgence season with the White Sox. Jesus Luzardo could be a sneaky star number two behind Alcantara if he can get his command under control. Heck, if Alcantara even has a little bit of a regression compared to last year, Luzardo could even be their number one. They also have guys like Braxton Garrett, Sisto Sanchez, and Edward Cabrera, who easily could be on the team this year. I think it really comes down to those three for the number five spot. So we'll see what happens, but this rotation is loaded. Bullpen wise, I'm not impressed by it so much, but I think they can get the job done. If the pen can hold the rotation's efforts, I think this team will be competing for a wild card this year. And honestly, the bullpen can be upgraded at any point of the year too if the team is playing well enough. In summary, Marlins are more than capable of being a 500 team, if not better. The division is ridiculously stacked, however, so they need everything to go right for them this year, especially out of their bullpen. That's really going to be their make or break, in my opinion. And lastly, we have the Washington Nationals, who finished 55 and 107 last year, the worst record in all of baseball. Honestly, the Nationals are just kind of scraping by. They did have a semi-productive offseason, but the lineup especially is mostly filled by players that were cut in the offseason by their last clubs. Uh, Speaking of the lineup, it's scrappy to say the least. I think the best way to describe it is it's going to be streaky all year. I genuinely believe that they will go out there some nights, light a pitcher up like a Christmas tree, and then some nights nearly get no hit. I'm also not sure how many of these guys will even be on the team come July, but who knows? Maybe they'll actually keep these guys around. I mean, they have some youngsters in Stone Garrett and CJ Abrams. Luis Garcia looks to be a stud. Uh, I think they're capable. It's just nothing impressive right now. Rotation wise, it's young, and Patrick Corbin is in for a make or break year. If Corbin can't figure out his woes, he's toast, and his leash may not be very long anyway. Nationals may move him to the bullpen if they feel like they need to, but I'm not really sure. On the bright side, Mackenzie Gore, Josiah Gray, and Cade Cavalli, they're the future of the rotation. They're going to be pitching their first full seasons, assuming they're healthy. I think the rotation could be solid down the stretch. It just won't be anything elite, so to say. Bullpen wise, it's average. It's hard to say how it's actually going to look, but I do believe what I have listed here is what it will look like on opening day. Tanner Rainey's out until August, at least, if not longer. So there will be a competition for the closer's role. It could be anyone's. Right now, I'm going Hunter Harvey, but again, this could really go to anybody. I think Washington's bullpen is an open competition amongst everybody. Summary: I do believe the Nationals can avoid 100 losses this year. They're still a ways away from competing again, but with a team likely being acquired by new owners soon, I also think it'll be interesting to see what direction this team goes. I think they at least have some bright of a future in front of them, kind of, sort of, maybe a few years away, but who knows? I think at the best they'll avoid 100 losses. And now for the division predictions. I mean it when I say it. The Phillies are the best team in the East, even without Bryce Harper right now. The hunger to get back to the World Series is going to be on their minds all year for motivation. And I really just expect them to perform at top level all year. Their rotation is definitely better than the Braves and Mets at this point. Uh, so, really, as long as the offense holds their own without Harper, they're going to be just fine. I see the Braves getting second just because I have doubts about the rotation. The difference between them and the Phillies is rotation durability, and I think whichever of them has the better rotation is coming out on top. The Braves are still good. I fully expect them to be a wild card team and possibly even win the wild card series, depending on who they play. I just don't think they're going to win a sixth straight division title this year. For the Mets, I think they'll be good. As hard as I kind of am on them, I think they'll be good. I just have doubts about their rotation too. I don't expect Verlander to perform at a Cy Young level. Scherzer is definitely showing some signs of regression. The lineup and Penn, they're good. The lineup's great actually, but we'll just kind of see how it goes down the stretch. If the rotation performs well, I think they can win the division as well. But right now, I just don't really have them better than third. For the Marlins, I have them fourth, and they should be over 500 behind that rotation. The lineup is balanced enough that they're going to give run support. It's capable of scoring 5 runs a night, but the bullpen does have question marks, and I think, like I was saying, that's going to be their make or break. But even then, with a good rotation and a solid lineup, I think they can still finish above 500. For the Nationals, it's just a team of misfits. Rotation at least is looking bright, but it's a scrappy team at best. I don't really expect them to compete. And that is it for our NL East breakdown. If you liked the video, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and be sure to ring the bell so you get notified whenever we post new content. We want to thank those who do watch the videos and have subscribed to the channel already. Your support means everything. Thank you guys again very much, and we'll see you all on the next one.